All right, guys, this is Normal Central coming back at you with another YouTube video. I know it's been quite a little bit of time since I've done a last YouTube video, but I just really appreciate all the love and support on my Twitter account, my Instagram account, all my social media accounts, really, because I mean, without y'all, my account wouldn't really be anything at this point. I do love all of the fellowship that I have with former Florida State players, as well as recruits, coaches, fans, everybody. I mean, this is just the passion I really, really share. And I just hope that you all enjoy my passion and share it together with us. I mean, this is very important to me. And I think it's something that can be coveted. I mean, Florida State is coming into the season. It's very, very exciting as we go through this process together. And I mean, Florida State's getting to a point now where you're kind of expecting ACC championship aspirations and maybe even playoff aspirations. So, super excited to see where we go. Be sure to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right here. Be sure to hit the thumbs up as well. Make sure you give me some feedback on the video as we go through it today, and we'll go through that together. But let's go ahead and get straight into the video and why I made this today. Joshua Farmer, a defensive tackle on Florida State's roster, has intended that he is going to be entering the transfer portal. I think it's very exciting to see how the defensive tackle room has been the last couple of weeks as we go through, and I think it's one of the strengths of Florida State's team. Unfortunately, Joshua Farmer is a very, very talented player. 15 total tackles last season, 2 sacks. I think he's a guy that you really didn't want to lose. I don't necessarily think he was starter material because you have Fabian Lovett, you have guys like that that are going to be successful. Braden Fisk, Darrell Jackson. I mean, the list goes on and on. You know, even a guy like Malcolm Ray could possibly be in the rotation. But when you looked at a Joshua Farmer, for example, I think you could have been your defensive tackle four. Florida State likes to rotate in and out of those guys. They don't want to give Fabian Lovett too much snaps, especially coming off his injury. You know, Braden Fisk is coming into the system. Dennis Briggs is an upperclassman. Maybe he might get a couple of snaps at defensive tackle as well. They really like Daniel Lyons, but how much are you going to trust into him in this process so far? I mean, Aotia Fossey, another guy that sat out last season, was going to try to figure out what he's going to be as a player. I think can be really impactful. But what are you going to get from him? KJ Sampson, another guy who they really like, but he's going to be enrolling this summer. So when you're looking at all those guys that you have on the roster now, it's kind of like, okay, well, where do you go from here at this point? And I think Florida State's got to ask itself that. And I know there was a lot of reports out there, and I'm not going to speculate one way or the other about Joshua Farmer because it's his decision. But a lot of players were actually talking about it being in an NIL situation. I think that's kind of an important aspect that you have to kind of monitor because, I mean, NIL is a part of today's college football. And as much as you can get mad about it or get frustrated about kids going elsewhere to get bigger deals, it is what it is. Whether it be that, whether it be playing time, I understand he's a very talented kid. And, you know, for all we know, if Fabian Lovett comes out and, you know, you got a starting job basically with Farmer coming in as a starting defensive tackle in 2024, hopefully after a very good season with Florida State and you're having to replace that production. And I think Farmer could have been that guy for you. Unfortunately, may not be the case there. Now, as for his former high school teammate, the guy that kind of lured him over to Florida State, Darrell Jackson, that's kind of up in the air at this point. He really hasn't got his waiver accepted yet from the university. We'll see how that kind of goes with the whole process. But with Farmer and also with Darrell Jackson, you thought both of those guys really, really improved, especially those guys that it came to the media credentials that it came to practice and actually monitored the practices and everything. And they said, man, the defense tackles are for real. Joshua Farmer's for real. You know, Darrell Jackson is the real deal. Fabian Lovett's coming back slowly but surely, but he's going to be really good. Defense tackle was going to be a strength for Florida State. Now losing him, you know, that you never know what's going to happen with that factor because you're losing a guy that has proven production at this point, has played, especially when Fabian Lovett was down. You talked about it. You know, if Fabian Lovett goes down with an injury last season, that was kind of the situation where you're like, man, our depth at that position is not very good because you're just trying to find ways to be successful. And with Fabian Lovett being out, you're just trying to figure out ways that you want to do everything now. The defensive like philosophy and tendencies and aggressiveness is not there. I mean, that's just kind of the thing that you were going through now. But with a year of development going into some of these guys, I think that could be really impactful for what you got. So with all this being said, I think with having Fabian Lovett in there, Braden Fisk, I think the room is very, very talented. One of the better units in college football at this point. But how much will this impact going forward? Will one of those other guys step up into this factor here? Who knows at this point? I think Joshua Farmer is going to make the best decision for himself. He's going to go to a college program that's going to be able to utilize this skill set. And I wish him nothing but the best. But going forward here, Florida State's got to figure out what to do. Are they going to go to the portal? Are they going to do something else at this point? How is Darrell Jackson going to handle the news? Is he going to be able to stay a Seminole at this point? What's all going to happen with this? And I think this is just a domino effect of what what's going to be able to happen in college football, and you just have to be prepared for it at this point. I'm not ever going to say that it was just not a really good deal with Joshua Farmer leaving. It is what it is. You can't even really say that because it is a massive loss for Florida State in terms of depth. But can you be able to replace that production or at least get similar production out of it with some of the guys you got on the roster right now? It's yet to be seen, but we'll see how everything plays out. But I really appreciate all the love and support on my videos so far. I know I've been kind of inconsistent up and down with posting some of my content, but I hope you all continue to support me as I go through this kind of process together, trying to figure out a good, happy medium for myself and also for my account as well. Be sure to follow my Instagram account, my Twitter account, all of those to be able to kind of get informed with all my news that I have out for Florida State football. And I hope you all have a great rest of the day and go Noles.